Alright, the Lyrical Destined one is here, also being the last one for set 4, so let's begin. And the design wise looks way too lyrical than being a Destined one. But first, a double rare Pasagra card, that being Seal Blaze Dragon Apira, which is a grade 2 with tanking power, and this goes. Auto, when placed on rearguard from hand, if your Vanguard is Seal Blaze, look at top 5 cards to your deck to choose up to one card that is either Overdress or Dress Boost, or an Arms card, and discard it. And of course, shuffle your deck. So basically, you choice mill something from the top 5 for free, which isn't exactly too bad. I just wish that there was an option for you to put it to hand, because we technically have another double rare that does exactly the same thing, except it costs a Soul Blast and it also can add you additional card to hand plus the discard. But then again, Pasagra resources is kind of important, so this doing it for free isn't entirely too bad. But the second skill makes it a little better, where auto drop zone when your Vanguard's armed, costs energy plus 3, call this to rearguard and plus 5k. The funny thing is, since it says when your Vanguard is armed, meaning that if there's a way to do it in battle, which there isn't right now, you could actually call this in battle and possibly do multi-attacks, if they do that in the future anyway. But the part where you energy blast 3 to call, that is just really good, because sometimes Pasagra lacks a field presence, and that's because you have to sacrifice a lot of unit cards for your arms. And just being able to resurge this back is just very nice. And the fact it just uses energy. This deck doesn't use energy. So overall, it is actually worth playing. The only question is it worth giving up some of your consistency from adding from deck to hand for your arms card, or just straight up just being able to call from the drop zone with an extra mill? And now to the Tuesday stream itself with the Constraint support. We start off with Ringing Song Fiora, which is a grade 2 with tanking power, and this goes. Auto rearguard, when this card attacks, if you have at least a grade 3 Constraint Vanguard, choose 4 units if they all have different names, plus 10k, and it could even be herself. You do have room to run this technically in Constraint, but there might be better cards to run than this, but being extra beater is not too bad for the deck. But the next card, Moderate Mint Rochi, which is a grade 1 with 8k power, has a skill, auto rearguard. When your at least grade 3 Vanguard Constraint attacks, costs energy boss 3, put this to stole, draw a card, and then choose one of your rearguards that did not stand by card ability this turn. Choose the rearguard that has been chosen by Constraint's ability and stand it. Remember, Constraint gets to choose one of your units for plus 15k extra power. So comboing with this for extra restand attack is just pretty nice, especially since the most part Constraint is technically a 3 attack deck, unless if you use the divine skill of the turn, so just being able to get another way for multi-attack is just nice. And now to the new Lisciafael ride line. Here's the starter, Liscent Sweet Moots. To the grade 1 with 8k power, Coolest Glance Philia, which has a skill. Auto, when rolled upon by mature lures Lucica, which is the grade 2, draw a card. Choose a card from your rear guard or hand and put it to soul, and then choose one of your Vanguards plus 5k. The part where you put the soul is actually going to be very important, because this is actually a type of deck where when you put something to soul, skill activates, and you also want to build up soul up to 6. In which we go to the grade 2 with 10k power, Mature Lures Lucica, which has a skill. Auto, when rolled upon by a grade 3 Lisciafael, counter boss 1 or energy boss 3, draw a card and soul charge 1. Once again, another setup card that lets you plus. In which we go to the grade 3 with 13k power, Destined 1 of Supremacy, Lisciafael, which has a skill. Auto Vanguard, once per turn when this card attacks while not being boosted, costs energy boss 3, put at least 2 of your rear guards to soul, and this card gets dry plus 1 and plus 5k for every card you put to soul for this cost. Once again, building up to something, which is going to be the next skill, which is the divine skill, where Auto Vanguard, at the end of battle, this card attacked at least a grade 3 unit. If your soul has 6 or more cards, cost counterboss 1, stand this unit, dry -2, and then until the end of fight, you get this skill. All your Vanguards with this skill fill in their name gets plus 5k power and 1 crit, active on your opponent's turn as well. Feels like Majesty Lord, because basically 18k base along with an extra crit. But overall, pretty strong. Your grade 1 and grade 2 already put stuff to soul, so by the time you hit grade 3, you're actually going to meet most of its condition, especially with the first skill where you can immediately meet the divine skill condition other than the attacking grade 3 part. But it's just overall pretty good. Gain that extra drive every single turn is just nice, and sure, it's only a one-time restand with only 1 drive for that second attack, but that permanent 18k base with extra crit, that can actually get very nasty over time, because I remember Majesty Lord, and just having that for free every single turn is pretty nasty. But other than that, everything else really depends on its support, especially the stuff that you're putting to soul, since it's any 2 specific rear guards that you want to put at least. And now to the support, we start out with Smoothing Voice Juliet. It's the grade 1 with 8k power that has the ability to get 5k power and shield if you have that specific Vanguard name, in this case Lisciafael, and of course active on your opponent's turn as well. But to the main support, we start off with Charming Present Armfee, which is a grade 3 with drinking power in the skills. Auto when placed on rearguard if you have at least a grade 3 Lisciafael. Cost +1, draw a card and plus 5k power, which is of course not too bad. But the second skill is auto when put the soul from rearguard by the ability of your at least grade 3 Lisciafael. Choose one of your vanguards and plus 5k power. Remember, for Lisciafael to activate her skill, you cannot be boosting her. So at least that there's other ways to give her some extra power, even though she gives herself extra power already. In which we go to Sway with Swing Balatiel, which is a grade 1k power, and it's the 13k booster if you have that specific Vanguard, aka Lisciafael. Too bad it doesn't have the direct boost for Lisciafael because the deck has no boosting for Vanguard, which is going to be relating to the second skill where auto, when put the soul from rearguard by the ability of Lisciafael, draw a card, and if you do not countercharge this turn, countercharge 1. So far the deck doesn't really use too much counter blast, but just having the ability to countercharge is always nice, and getting the extra draw is also very nice. Just found it funny that we still got one of these 13k boosters for Lisciafael, even though the deck doesn't revolve around boosting the Vanguard. In which we go to Brilliance Restage Abelina, which is a grade 2 with taking power in the skills. Count rearguard. If you have at least a grade 3 Vanguard Lisciafael, plus 5k, active on your opponent's turn as well. This is of course going to be pretty good, especially combined with the second skill where auto rearguard once per turn when you have at least a grade 3 Lisciafael Vanguard attacks. If your front row has no other rearguards, aka she's the only front row rearguard, cost +1, stand this unit, and if your opponent's Vanguard is at least grade 3, plus 10k. Of course we get the typical restanding rearguard. And considering that Lisciafael is going to put stuff from rearguard to soul anyway, this is not going to be a hard condition. And luckily, it doesn't have to be completely in the front row, but this card requires your other card to be in the front row, so unfortunately you cannot restand 2 of these. But with some future support, we might even get Superior Call from hand, so just emptying that rearguard can actually be a little nasty. But overall, a really good support card. And finally, the order cards, Sweetest Sweet Supremacy, which is a grade 3 normal order, and you play it by counterblasting 1 while your Vanguard is Lisciafael. You energy charge 2, choose one of your Vanguards that gets this ability in the end of turn. Count Vanguard, all your front row units with 5k. Why do I feel like most of these lyrical order cards just give your Vanguard a skill, and basically usually gives 5k to basically mass board? I mean, yeah, this one can energy charge 2 as well, but I don't think this is completely necessary. And finally, here's the secret rare, and we're going to get another presentation in September. So that's it for the new Lisciafael ride line. What do you guys think of it? Overall, it's just pretty cool, and actually pretty strong, I have to admit. It does feel a bit like Majesty Lord in a way, but in that it's just very simple. Design-wise, it looks way too lyrical more than a Destined one. Doesn't look like evil enough to be a Destined one, but okay. But just overall pretty good. And now with all the decks revealed for set 4, which one are you looking forward to the most? Levy Dress is the main one I'm looking forward to, and maybe Impludio, because Impludio actually feels very interesting, having a defensive mechanic and an offense mechanic. But in that, it's just whatever support for my old decks that I have. But in that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.